Hello everybody, I'm Bryce Machine Bates from Team Evil Geniuses, and this is going to be a replay review brought to you by evilgeniuses.net. Today's replay review is actually going to be a Zerg vs. Zerg on Antiga Shipyards, so let's go ahead and jump into the game. Alright, let's get this started. This is going to be a Zerg vs. Zerg, as I said, on Antiga Shipyard. Pretty decent map for early roach pressure. If you look at the map, basically the main feature of the map is it's pretty wide open. There's pretty, decently close proximity between the bases. This is obviously a ladder version, so it's not force cross. But the sort of key thing to note is there's actually a destructible rock leading to the third, and there's a very wide entrance into both the natural and the third, so that the third can be reasonably vulnerable to timings like roach infestor timings, roach ling, roach queen, something like that. And even the ramp to the natural isn't tiny, and it's extremely far away from your hatchery. So creep spread to wall this off or put up a bunch of spines can be difficult, and also defending ling bane all-ins requires some pretty good queen placement, and you can't just defend everything with a single spine crawler like you can on most maps. Anyways, here we see I've opened up with a early 14 gas, 14 pool speed, taking my expansion on 22, pretty standard stuff. So essentially when you're at 14-14 versus hatchery first, you're at an econ disadvantage, but you have the potential to do some sort of damage with these early zerglings, the early zergling advantage that you have. So I choose to engage with my 6 lings here, and it looks like it's going to be extremely even. I come out on top by a tad, and this is kind of nice for me. It doesn't really mean a whole lot, but it's just an early advantage to attain. He now has to produce more zerglings just to defend, and he's unable to scout because I have this early speed, so it's just kind of a nice win for me. Meanwhile, I have no intention of really pressuring. I got an early defensive baneling nest. I'm still just droning, getting my second queen for my natural. Pretty standard stuff. And as I said, yeah, he's forced to produce a couple more zerglings here to defend. So that brings the harvester count at 21 for me, 18 for him. And meanwhile, I have a second queen, baneling nest almost complete, natural almost up. So things are looking good just from the start. As my natural completes, I'd expect to see a spine crawler here pretty much instantaneously. Yeah. Look at the production tab. I'm producing 2 zerglings. Just going to probably morph some defensive banelings with these. Yeah, just want to prevent any sort of all-ins that could potentially happen. Meanwhile, just still 2 on gas for now, focusing most of my resources purely on drones, trying to get that drone count high. Because you can actually defend a ton of zerglings just with good scouting, which is having this overlord outside here, so that the second I see a wave of zerglings run by, I can start up zergling production. And spine crawler placement, defending the ramp to my natural mineral line, and then also banelings. Banelings are extremely cost efficient against zerglings. They have kind of terrible mobility in comparison with zerglings though, so it's not like he's going to walk 50 banelings across the map and be able to wipe me out at this point. But they're just a useful thing to have. So I was able to kill off a baneling there with a single zergling, always a cost-efficient engagement. It's got a roach warren, so that will strike me to put down my own roach warren. I have an extremely early evolution chamber though, and this is pretty standard if you're playing defensive roach. My advantage this game will actually just be the fact that I have an earlier upgrade than him. This +1 range helps out so much in roach versus roach battles. And meanwhile, you'll see, he's just on a roach warren. He's only making roaches. Just has the baneling nest, but it's mainly just to play defensive. And I've spread the creep to my ramp, so now I'm allowing myself to push forward with that spine, secure, just the defensive position on my ramp. And as we look here, on the map. I actually just now scout him moving out. And if you look, you'd think I'd be in trouble. Our supplies are even, and my harvester count is almost 10 more than his. So I have 10 of that supply is locked up on drones. But he also has 9 roaches here. Looks like he's rallying zerglings, which is pretty standard because zerglings are much quicker than roaches, so you can actually move out with the roaches. And by the time you get to your opponent's base, the speedlings will actually catch up. And I have 2 zerglings and 3 banelings and a spinecrawler. So it's not looking so good. But if you look at the production tab, 7 roaches in production. So that, coupled with my queens, my banelings, my zerglings, and good control, I should be able to fend off his 16 lings and his 9 roaches. So he moves out here. I am obviously rallying just straight to my ramp. He starts morphing a ton of banelings. He wants to make it pretty obvious he wants to just break down my spinecrawler. And the nice thing is, I'm not even sure if I do this, but if I hit 2 banelings on top of all of his banelings will blow up just to 2 of mine. So that's obviously what I would like to do. The other thing is I need to make sure I spread my units out pretty thoroughly. See here he's moving in with his first few banes, taking out that spinecrawler, and he's allowing my rally to kind of catch up to me. He has some huge baneling hits actually. And I need to start hitting my Ajax, but pretty quickly here, my +1 range attack upgrade should complete. And even though I'm outnumbered right now, my rally is stronger because I have harvested more resources, and basically my income is just so much better than his. And as range attack completes, he should be forced to retreat. And now I have an advantage. I have multiple advantages actually. So I'm able to fend off that attack. I have +1 range. He doesn't. I don't even know if he has an Evo chamber started. Nope. He's on 2 gas. I'm on 3. I have my queens. And if you look at the harvester count, still 45. I didn't lose a single drone to his 36. So I'm able to fend that off relatively easily. And now he's forced to just kind of retreat, drone up some, try to catch that harvester count up, and attain an advantage of his own. But with this +1 range attack advantage, it's actually pretty huge, and I can use it to basically just start playing aggressive against him. Or, I mean, I could take a third as well. It's just really comes down to what do you want to do. So, as we see here, I've started 24 zerglings in production, rallied my roaches out, and kept trying to play catch up with the zerglings here. I mean, so he's actually forced to put down spines, and he already had a terrible harvester's count in comparison to mine, so I'm completely fine with that. As I rally out to my natural, I start morphing a ton of banelings. Let's see. And behind this, I'm really just producing drones, so I'm completely fine with this. This isn't all-in by any means. And so he's got a lot of spines, though. I can just start streaming in with these banelings. Look at those big hits on those roaches, those spines. Should be moving in with my roaches here. And it looks like even though he has a lot more roaches than me, I should be getting crushed right now, but this +1 range is huge. It adds so much. But as I scout the extra rally units, I'm forced to retreat. But I retreat with an advantage. I have 100 supply to his 81, 54 harvesters because I was droning behind this. Meanwhile, he was using all of his production purely just trying to defend my attack. I have a macro hatch almost up, and I'm taking a third base. Because of the position he's in, I know he has such a low harvester count, no upgrades. I realized that by taking this third, I'm putting a lot of passive pressure on him. I'm essentially saying, all right, I think you can't prevent me from getting this third up, even though I'm already in such an advantageous position by having, more harvesters than you. And if you allow this third to get up, you're basically just going to be falling miles and miles behind. So I'm just putting it in plain view right underneath his overlord. I want him to scout it, and I want him to try to pressure me. I still have 56 harvester count to his 51. Still have that +1 range upgrade advantage. Roach speed almost complete. And for him, his roach speed's about the same time. His evolution chamber's up. He hasn't even started an upgrade. And he's just forced to kind of rally in roaches at this point. And even though my roaches have an upgrade advantage, you know, he has to try to kill me off. So I try to, you know, I scout him coming obviously with this really good overlord positioning from the second he left his ramp. I know with this Zergling he doesn't have a third, so he's essentially just all in at this time as long as I'm able to just hold my third. So I try to get the best concave I can, spread my units in an arc, and that's going to allow me to maximize the total potential DPS that I can do, or damage per second, because if I attack from one angle and I have some roaches that are just kind of sitting back behind 2 or 3 layers of roaches and they're just kind of walking back and forth, they're not allowed to engage. They're not able to do any damage. But if I can get an arc like this and surround him completely, every single roach is attacking, and I have more roaches than him, I'm clearly just doing more damage to him, targeting him down faster, and just reducing his DPS. So as we see here, he's just going to move straight in for an engagement. Let's go right in the center, which is right where I want him. I'm able to just kind of move, attack, maximizing my DPS. You see that like every single roach is attacking, except this guy. Nope, he's attacking. All right, and he's forced to GG. Alright guys, hope you like this. Once again, my name is Bryce Machine Bates from Team Evil Geniuses. If you like this replay review, you can check out this and more at evilgeniuses.net. Take care.